The FDA wants you to surgically implant an electronic chip that will cure obesity.
My name is Anthony Gucciardi, and I inserted an RFID chip into my hand to store and display net art. It works with mobile phones and card readers. It's usually used for privacy, and I'm using it for a public purpose, which is to distribute artwork. The chip is basically the size of a grain of sand, and it has a small antenna, and that whole thing is wrapped in a little tiny glass capsule. So that antenna gets picked up from a distance of about, looks like 1 to 2 centimeters from the phone. It's 1 kilobyte of storage, and I'm using that to store an animated GIF. From the phone I can upload new GIFs onto it or new artwork, so I'm going to have different artists create artwork that will be on here, so it'll end up being kind of like a digital net art tattoo.
By shutting down your nerve signals, and you're not allowed, though, to know if you're eating GMO foods or if you're taking BPA with the plastic chemicals on a daily basis, or if you're warping your hormones, or if you're completely destroying your digestive system. Instead, the FDA has the answer. They have now literally approved a chip that is surgically implanted into your body to shut down the nervous systems in your brain from telling you that you're hungry and you need food.
You may consider lining up for hours at the Apple Store to get your hands on the new iPhone 6, but would you insert a chip in one of those hands to use the device? Hey guys, I'm Sally Turner for Buzz60, and one man is putting his faith in Apple exec Tim Cook between his thumb and index finger. Ben Slater, a self-confessed tech enthusiast from Australia, planted a microchip in his hand in the hope that the new iPhone 6 will be able to read it. He's already able to use the device to access information databases, and he can open his front door and turn on the lights without touching a thing. I can't decide if this man is a complete germaphobe or simply lazy. Currently, the iPhone can't read microchip implants, but Slater is hoping the new version will be able to. I still think it's a little nuts, but maybe E.T. was onto something.
E.T. home phone.
A complete shutdown of your instinctual basis to actually go out and eat food instead of educating you on what to do with your body. So we're here with Dr. Group, and we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about the right ways to actually approach this as opposed to getting something implanted surgically in your body in a new trend that's no doubt going to lead to extreme abuse and everyone going out and thinking that they're going to get skinny if they can get this chip implanted in them, which is now approved by the FDA and rolling out into hospitals nationwide. Dr. Group, is this not insane?
It's absolutely insane, because the medical profession and people that create drugs and create any type of prescription devices have one thing in mind. What they want to do is address the symptoms instead of address the root cause. In this case, they're addressing obesity instead of why are you obese. And, you know, unfortunately, we've become a society that doesn't want to take responsibility for our own health. I mean, it's very easy to understand if you spend a little bit of time why you're obese, but again, we also have a society, Anthony, that's addicted to food, that's addicted to sugar, that's addicted to the things that create obesity, a society that's sedentary. Nobody gets up and exercises anymore. Everybody sits behind a computer. Everybody stays up late. Everybody's under extreme levels of stress. All of these factors contribute to obesity. And what I've been saying for years and years and years is obesity, diabetes, cancer, it doesn't matter what disease you have, it all stems from one thing. Too many toxic disease-causing chemicals coming into the body and not enough coming out of the body. In the case of obesity, congested bowels, congested intestinal system, and a congested liver. Looking at the root cause of obesity, what is the main organ that handles obesity? What's the main organ that breaks down fats? Is the liver. The liver secretes bile, and the gallbladder stores bile to break down the fats. when you look at the millions of chemicals that we're exposed to every single day, the liver is the organ that has to process that, and the liver becomes congested. When the liver becomes congested, the body can no longer break down fat effectively, therefore it leads to weight gain.
And they don't even know what they're eating. See, these people that are obese, many of them have no clue that they're taking in these toxins every single day, and that's why it frustrates me and hurts me when we get these emails from people that will also come in from talking about this, saying, well, hey, you don't know what it's like to be obese. You don't know how it feels when I, can't control these cravings and I have to eat the sugar or whatever. I try to eat healthy. I've tried every diet plan. And it's interesting to note that the FDA says you can only get approved for the surgical implant if you've tried previous diet plans, right? So that's it actually says that. It's from the New York Times. We can probably also show it on screen. Not only does this cause nausea, pain near the implant, vomiting, and other surgical complications, which probably also means death, of course, with any surgery, but they hope to offer it nationwide. But here's the parameters. The device is approved for use only in adults with a body mass index of 35 to 45 who have at least one other obesity-related condition, such as type 2 diabetes, and they must also have tried to shed pounds in a supervised weight loss program within the past 5 years. So, I mean, if you've tried to lose weight in the past 5 years under any program and you're overweight, you need this surgical implant immediately, and it's totally insane. And they don't tell you about the constipation in your gut, the 20 pounds of compacted fecal matter. They don't tell you about how you're damaging your liver every single day when you're eating GMO crops, which are staple crops like corn, soy, beets, everything now. They don't tell you about your liver shutting down. They don't tell you any of this, and it's extremely messed up. And all those people that are emailing in, which is actually thousands of people to you, me, everyone, saying they don't know what to do, this is the answer. This, what we're talking about, is the answer, not surgically implanting chips into your body to shut down your brain signals.
And who knows what else is involved with those chips? I mean, are those chips going to be programmable with the cell phone that you have next to you? Where does that lead us in the future of natural medicine?
Oh yeah, it says you can recharge it yourself, and the doctors adjust its settings however they want. So, like you were saying to me before we got into this, teenage girls are going to get their doctor to prescribe it to them, and they're going to jack it up all the way so they never eat. This is going to lead to mainline just not ever eating. Just right. the skinny girls that want to lose weight, who are maybe anorexic or something, this will just enable them, if they get a hold of it, which the regulations will probably be more relaxed, like most off-label type drug stuff, they'll be able to get a hold of it and not eat anything.
Well, because the way the device works is it works by blocking the nerve that signals the stomach that you're hungry. So if you block that natural response from the brain to the stomach, you're blocking a very important system in the body. If you don't eat during that time, then what I see happening is that people are going to come down with nutritional deficiencies. When you come down with nutritional deficiencies, your immune system suffers, all the organs in your body suffer, and one thing leads to another thing. So I foresee any weight loss product or medical way to lose weight is a win-win situation for the pharmaceutical companies, because everybody out there is begging for something that they can do that's easy and something they don't have to, they can eat whatever they want, they don't have to exercise, and they're going to lose weight. They don't think about the side effects until it's too late, unfortunately.
These devils are moving, and still showing these idiots out there that the mark of the beast is a chip. Ain't nobody doing nothing else but getting these chips in their hand. What we've been telling the elders on down, and telling brothers in the whole, mainly the whole world, because it's going to come up on the whole world. We've been telling these people for years, and you finally seen it slowly being implemented, not just by the chip, but other cashless devices. And you got ways to pay by your cell phone, you got ways to pay by watch. They're doing it to make the life easier, but it's all going to lead up to the RFID chip, which is basically going to be nothing but straight Satanism and mind control. Just basically full power on the left-hand side through Satan, through the international bankers, who are so-called white people who are in the Bible known as Edomites.
They don't get fiber in their diet now. They don't get nutrients. They get sick. They get constipated. They go to the doctor. They fund it. I mean, talk about how not going to the bathroom and being constipated and having a bad gut is leading to hundreds of millions, or was it billions of dollars for the pharmaceutical industry, the medical establishment, which Obamacare is now covering, Talk about that, how they're making so much money that they don't even care if you're not getting nutrients at this point. They want you to be fat, sick, constipated, and dying.
Well, obesity always starts in the bowel just like anything else. And some of the statistics I have here, each year in the U.S., chronic constipation leads to around 2.5 million doctor's visits. That's just staggering from people that just can't go to the bathroom. And the medication costs hundreds of millions of dollars. The definition of chronic constipation is a stool frequency of less than 3 per week, which is just
insane.
Yeah, I mean,
you should have 3 per day.
3 per day, 2 per day, 1 per day. Look at the animals out there. How many times do you see a dog going to the bathroom, a bird going to the bathroom, a squirrel, a cow going to the bathroom? Yet we're okay if we have less than 3 bowel movements a week. That's just staggering right there. Less than 50% of the people have 1 bowel movement a day. So that means probably, in the 40 percentile have less than 1 bowel movement a day.
Where do they think all of that food is going? It's sitting on your digestive walls.
Right. Your transit time should be around 24 hours, or 12 to 24 hours, really. That means by the time you eat something, that food, and you can do this with corn and measure your transit time, by the time you eat it, you should see that corn in your stool within 12 hours. What's happening today is that you're seeing transit times of 24, 48 hours, 72 hours, sometimes 2 weeks. And you just recently had an email from a girl that was constipated that went to the bathroom 1 time a week, right?
I know this girl personally, and she's actually extremely fit. She has visible abs. She is a fitness freak, works out at least once a day, every single day. And she was telling me in a nice way, saying, hey, can I try oxy powder? And what's funny is people think this is disgusting, which in some ways it is, but it's your body. I mean, you should care about this stuff. And she comes and she asks me, she says, hey, can I try that stuff? It sounds really interesting. What do I do? So we give her a few tabs, she takes it. And then she actually comes back to me, and this was when she emailed me about it, and she said, thank you, I hadn't been able to have an actual bowel movement in a week. Now think about that. If the average time is supposed to be 24 hours for a turnover, what do you think is happening in a week's time with all of the gunk you're eating, the toxins? You're not expelling it. There's no wonder you're going to be fat and sick and dying.
One of the problems is constipation is starting at such an early age now because even the babies that are getting the soy formulas, all the chemicals and the toxins that are destroying the nerves coming to the bowel, it's causing an atrophy of the bowel muscles. And the sad thing about it is once you lose those muscles, you could lose your arm muscles if you're in a cast. And then when your cast comes off, you can build those muscles back up again. But the muscles surrounding the bowel are highly innervated with nerves. And when you burn those nerves with the high acid foods, the diet drinks, the MSG, all the chemicals, the toxins, the metals, the parasites, the acid balance inside the bowel, those muscles begin to atrophy and shrink, and then you have a problem with having regular bowel movements. And once that happens, it's usually there for life. The laxative market alone is something outrageous. It's $800 million a year spent on over-the-counter laxatives. But there's easy and beneficial ways to lose weight, to keep weight off, and to repair or at least allow yourself to have regular bowel movements on a daily basis or a weekly basis or every other day. And that's by changing your diet, avoiding all the chemicals and toxins in the water, getting away from genetically modified foods, eating an organic diet, eating more live foods because live foods, fruits, live vegetables have fiber that are going to help repair your bowel. Using a natural intestinal cleanser such as oxy powder 2 or 3 times a week to flush everything out of your system. And then I always like to say, when I wrote a book, The 10 Super Secrets to Weight Loss, the #1 secret was liver cleansing, liver and gallbladder cleansing.
And I mean, look, it's really, really simple. We're talking about an industry, millions of doctor's visits, $700 million spent on harsh chemical laxatives, which are actually more toxic and filling your body with more toxic crud that you're trying to get out. It's simple to come and say, hey, we have an answer. Eat healthy, avoid these toxins, you have a certain threshold, and use an oxygen cleanser, which is actually good for you anyway, and giving your body oxygen, which you need to fight virtually everything, and also to expel all of the garbage out of your body. I mean, just that girl that hadn't gone to the bathroom in a week, she probably had, what, 10 pounds of compacted fecal matter inside of her. And here's this gorgeous, attractive woman walking around with a horrible gut problem. And I said she had visible abs. She looked like she was in great shape. And she said she hadn't gone to the bathroom in a week until she took oxy powder. And I mean, you have the trials. I mean, we're sitting here with an answer. That's why we're passionate about it. That's why we're going out. And that's why I'm saying, hey, you need to try this and get it immediately, because I'm taking it. It's actually working. It's helping people. It's, if I say so, saving people. And they don't realize they don't have to spend $700 million on pharmaceutical inventions that are killing them. They don't have to get a surgical implant in their body to shut down their nerves and their receptors and their actual instinctual program. They don't have to do that. They can invigorate their body with oxygen and completely shut down the issue. The FDA wants you to surgically implant an electronic chip that will cure obesity.